two young founders, Devansh Jain.
If I'm missing Ranveer Singh, I can go into any Punjabi bar club and see 20,000 Ranveer Singhs there every day.
And Ackshay Jain.
We are just co-founders. We don't share the same opinion.
I'll have to put a 10-second disclaimer on this podcast. From India's #1 hype and luxury marketplace,
Culture Circle.
So I'm very excited for this podcast because it's going to be all about Shark Tank India.
We're going to get a label notice from Shark Tank.
Culture Circle.
आपको जैसे ये बता दूं देवांश ने जूते पहने हैं ना वो 10 लाख के
Dior, AJ.
10 लाख के हैं।
So market price 10 lakh है. Culture Circle पे आपको 6.5 लाख के मिल सकते हैं ये. So market price 6,000. Get it on Culture Circle only for 3,500 right now.
Brand integration is a must in this podcast.
वो हमारा USP है.
Great sales guy.
And
Labubu.
Labubu. It's called a Labubu. Okay. Labubu. I thought it's this small. Okay. And I was like, chalo theek hai, at
That
least
was
big.
it done.
So I was very publicly.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. It's going to be too much fun. Hello and welcome to my very own podcast, the Adhiraj Sethi Circle. My name is Adhiraj Sethi and today we have two young founders. Yes, we have two guests for the very first time who have turned their love for sneakers into a serious business. Don't get me wrong, they both are serious coders and one of them is actually an IIM graduate as well. I am talking about the Hypemen, Devansh Jain and Ackshay Jain from India's #1 hype and luxury marketplace, Culture Circle, a platform where streetwear fans and sneakerheads can buy and sell hypewear, from Jordans and Yeezys to the craziest collabs. They even made it to Shark Tank India, pitched their idea to the nation, and came out with a wave of attention that took them to the next level. In a market flooded with fakes and flex, they're building trust, creating community, and flipping the culture, quite literally. So without further ado, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You guys know the drill. Let's dive right into it. Hello and welcome to my very own podcast, the Adhiraj Sethi Circle. My name is Adhiraj Sethi and today we're with the Hypemen, Devansh Jain and Ackshay Jain, founders of Culture Circle. Hello guys, welcome to the circle, welcome to the podcast. मेरा podcast का भी circle है, culture का भी circle है. So I'm very excited for this podcast because it's going to be all about hypewear, trends, culture, luxury. It's going to be too much fun. Are you guys comfortable?
Yeah. I think we're going to sue you for using the word circle.
No, please don't do that. But I'm so excited to know everything about you guys. So let's just start from the beginning. How did you guys meet? How did the concept of Culture Circle come into your minds? And where is this going now? Are you guys excited for the future?
So I'll tell you, to take up the first question, right?
Yeah.
We have been best friends since the 6th grade now.
Okay.
Where he used to be like the fat fuck. And I was the bully of the nerds. Sort of.
Okay.
So, you were the best friends since the 6th grade. And one thing which was common amongst us is we kept on building some cool things.
Okay.
So in 9th grade, we launched our first ever project called the Panda Game.
Okay.
And it was a very smart decision because he looked like a panda. And my idea was...
Okay, I'm going to put this picture and I have a screenshot.
I was 130
The
kilos.
transformation is crazy.
So if you put a picture of a panda and a Devansh next to each other, you won't be able to distinguish between the two. Ex-Devansh, not the current.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys met in school, best friends.
So the idea was we became friends, obviously, right? And that would have been normal.
Hanji.
But one thing which actually stood out was we loved building our cool shit.
Okay.
So it started with the Panda Game. It was a cool game. Have you played Flappy Birds?
Yeah.
Floppy Birds, what was the name?
Yeah.
Flappy Birds,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it was essentially for a panda. who did the exact same thing.
Okay.
Like,
it was an app.
It was an app.
Oh, wow.
It was an app live on the Play Store and App Store.
Hanji.
I'll tell you why I'm stressing App Store.
Huh.
So App Store's membership is 10,000 per month.
Okay.
And we used to pay our pocket money using that.
Okay.
So it went viral.
Oh.
Like back then, I think we went to Galleria and put out posters
Posters
there.
in Galleria Market, yeah.
It was nuts.
Okay.
Since then, 9th and 10th grade, we were very good in computer science. We like reached our code warriors was deepest Gurgaon. And in
That was DPS Vasant Kunj. Code
deepest,
Warriors.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So you guys were
Deepest
nerds.
Gurgaon was- yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
full
Like
on,
A1.
full on
Okay.
nerds.
You would have
Okay.
seen us back then, A1.
We still
right
are.
now, also agreed.
We still are.
Full on nerds.
Okay.
That's how we met. And same school, then we switched to DPS Vasant Kunj.
Hanji.
And he basically forced me to.
Okay.
He said कि DPS अगर तुम दिल्ली लेते हो तो अच्छी रैंक आती है,
Huh.
अच्छा शॉर्ट लिस्टिंग प्रोसेस होता है, मैंने भी ले लिया, बट मेरे तो एनएसआईटी में नहीं हुआ.
Okay.
So that was like the initial days.
Also, the crowd was better at DPS Vasant Kunj compared to DPS Gurgaon. So I
Okay.
think that's what actually made him switch.
Okay.
That's what made him switch.
Yeah. That's the politically correct answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the non-correct answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm grateful to you.
So how did this friendship, this best friendship, turn into a business partnership?
So I'll tell you, there was this interesting challenge in Brazil called
Okay.
the Thought for Food Challenge,
Okay.
right? And what he did is you're supposed to like make some startup and have some idea around the future of food and food security. So this was pitched in our college. And I called him up. We were in different colleges, right? I built a team from my college. I had a couple of people. And then I called him up saying, yeah, there's this very cool project. And if we win, we'll get an all expenses paid trip to Brazil. This was like second year of uni, right? We'll
Okay.
get an all
That was the
expenses-
motivation.
Of course.
Okay.
Obviously, like,
we'll get an all
for any
expenses-
college student,
Huh.
can you actually give better motivation them to build a project out?
Fair.
So the motivation was we'll get an all expenses paid trip to Brazil and it'll be fun. And he's our best friend. So I was like, if there's someone I want to go to Brazil with when I'm 19,
Yeah.
it better be him.
Yeah.
So I asked him, he was like, yeah, of course, why not? And we built that out and we didn't win in the contest.
Okay.
Right. So the idea was the top 10 teams from around the world will make it to Brazil. We were like ranked 13.
Okay.
So we didn't win that project.
Okay.
But what we started there, we realized that there's a commercial viable idea towards that. And that's when we built our first venture. It was called The Healthy Company.
Okay.
So this is third year of our undergrad.
Oh.
Yeah, at that point,
2018,
19, yeah.
2018, 6 October was our incorporation day.
Okay.
I'm the legal and finance guy, so I all memorize.
So this
2018 was our third year. We had just started.
this was nowhere related to culture circle.
Not at all.
No,
Okay.
Cultural came much.
Okay.
It was actually a health and wellness venture.
Okay.
The idea was I was 130 kilos when I entered college. And then I lost over 60 kilos over the next 1 year.
Crazy.
And then he realized how life changes after someone loses weight.
Yeah.
So he also lost weight after that.
Okay.
And the entire idea was that how can we just enable more and more people to do what we did.
Okay.
So the Healthy Company had an AI-based health coach back in 2019 before any of this was popular.
Oh.
So we built an AI-based health coach to help you with your diet, meal planning, etc., etc. At that point, yeah. And we were in third year college. We were both computer science engineers, so that really helped.
That time, though, AI was also not that popular.
Exactly.
That time, AI was something you can't crack. Right now, why is it? AI is ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But back then, AI is okay. Oh, what's AI? Are you
Okay.
actually solving something or throwing this word?
So that was your first venture.
Correct. So,
And culture is the second one.
correct.
Yes.
Okay. So how did you guys shift from being nerds to now hypewear,
Now being
hypemen?
cool nerds.
Yeah.
We now the cool.
Slightly cooler nerds.
Yeah.
2 degrees of cooler nerds.
So was there a story like one pair of sneakers that you guys flipped and you were like, oh damn, yahan to
We
bahut
actually
paisa
have
hai."
never flipped sneakers,
Okay.
which is the wrong thing to say as part of the culture circle, but we've never flipped sneakers.
Okay.
Actually, what happened was I was doing my MBA and we were in Goa. And what happened in Goa, honestly, was I think I was trying to order a pair of sneakers and somehow we ended up in a discussion,
Okay.
right? We were just chilling and he was telling me about his experiences as to how he ordered from the reseller.
That PSG thing, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So he
Okay.
ordered like a pair from a reseller and it was a headache for him because this entire industry used to run on Instagram resellers.
Unorganized.
Very unorganized.
Yeah.
So the buying experience before Culture Circle was usually you want a particular product. Now you check to 30, 40, 50 Instagram resellers, you DM them manually, I want XYZ product. Then they would give you a price. The prices would differ very highly between. The same reseller could be pitching 25,000 for a product. The next reseller would be 35,000. The next would be 15,000.
The same reseller could be pitching 20,000 to one customer and 25 to another.
Exactly.
I'll give you a basic example, right? Assume that we are in this podcast and you really love this, what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
These are New Balances, grey Castle Blocks. What's your size?
Okay.
What's your size? UK size?
UK 10.
You will fine. Assume that you suddenly find this shoe as something you want to get.
Yeah.
Now, before Culture Circle, your process would have been, you would have Googled it, obviously.
Yeah.
And 3 websites would have shown up.
Yeah.
On those 3 websites, 2 would not have UK 10.
Yeah.
1 would have it, and 32,000 would have been the price.
Yeah.
Now, that's your anchor.
Yeah.
Now, you would have been like, oh, I think I have seen a seller on Instagram.
Or some of your friend would be an Instagram.
Yeah,
reseller.
so let me text him or her.
Yeah.
You're
Like the friend she mentioned.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Instagram would recommend 10 more sellers because that obviously the moment you click follow, you see 10 more people.
Yeah.
Everywhere you're getting different prices and different availability. That's what we solved for. Our idea was no person who's ready to spend 30,000 INR should go through that.
Yeah. Fair.
So call us a Skyscanner for flights.
Yeah.
Call us a Trivago. But we solved for that if Adhiraj wants to buy a pair of shoes in its size, there should be one place he has to go to.
Makes sense.
Show all the sellers, show all the availability, and not the headache, man. If you're ready to spend
You've
30,000.
basically organized an unorganized market,
Precise.
which is the best thing to do in my opinion.
Yeah, because
very profitable.
I'll tell you from from personal experience as well. You know, there had been multiple instances. I paid, let's say, 32,000 for a shoe. So I paid it. I got the shoe. After a month, but I got the shoe.
Yeah.
And then later, someone tells me, you can get this exact same one at 24,000. I've seen it at a different website or a different reseller. So you're like, okay, the price difference is massive. It's not 500 rupees. It's 6,000, 5,000, 4,000 rupees between different stores and sites.
Fair.
So that's when we realized there's a real opportunity. If you just transparently show a fair price to the customer, X reseller, that's their price. So that's a real opportunity because why would someone want to be stupid and still overpay for stuff they want?
Exactly.
I mean, people still go to Europe, man, to save money.
Yeah.
But they'll spend tens of lakhs of rupees, but they'll buy everything. But they know for a fact whatever they bought is probably the best price ever. They'll buy 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs worth of stuff.
True.
But unko pata hai, if I've got this Gucci handbag.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's no place else on this planet that I could got it at a better price.
Fair.
That is the idea. And like, fun fucking story, man. We were in Goa. Same problem discussing. You were sitting at Olive, I think.
Olive
That
in Goa,
white bar.
Olive
and
Agator. Olive Agator.
Dude, insane. So he's more of a front end guy.
Yeah.
By front end, I mean, in tech terms, I'll build out the UI.
UI, UX, graphic
Is it
design.
skill set? My skill set would be back end. Okay. I'll do the database management, API, scraping, everything.
Okay.
So we were in Goa, sober.
Okay.
And we just coded it out in 2 days with a simple buyer-seller connect.
Oh,
That
damn.
server was not monetized at all.
Okay.
The idea was
It's kind of a
website.
fun project.
Project.
Just
This
as
is a project, man.
Like a fun, cool tool that we wanted to build.
Damn.
Same thing, builders first.
Okay.
Monetization was way later on. Touchwood, we learned monetization from the healthy company,
Yeah.
but we were builders at first.
But the idea wasn't a business at all. Like,
Your
we
business
were building a
whatsoever.
cool website or a
But
cool
no one
app.
can just look at you guys now and be like, these guys are coders and nerds. You guys don't look like that.
We still code. we were coding just before this.
I love coding.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
No, I
did
believe
coding
you.
before
I believe you. I believe you. But tell me now about Shark Tank. Okay? I saw you guys on Shark Tank and I was like, that's so cool. 27-year-old founders doing so well for themselves. 26, turning 27.
2 weeks away from 2027. Let's just call this pair as 27-year-old founders.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So now you guys have gone on Shark Tank. You're in front of the biggest entrepreneurs of India. Sharks are looking at you, but you guys are coming off so confident. So I don't know what to say, but I just felt like the vibe is so nice, and it felt like you guys are seasoned founders who have been doing it for so long. And then Aman Gupta points out Devansh's shoes, they're like for so many lakhs. And he's like this, yeah, it is. It was so cool. And so walk me through Shark Tank. Okay, for 27-year-olds, it's a dream of mine to go on Shark Tank. So for you guys, you're living that dream. What happened on the set? What do we not know? वो बताओ मेरे को.
Okay, I'll tell you the secret. Number one secret to having. Our pitch is the most viral pitch this year. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Although I think like a couple of reels
Yeah.
of ours,
Yeah.
especially like the 10 lakh shoes, etc., went
Yeah.
viral.
Yeah.
So Shark Tank India, which was supposed to air on TV also,
Yeah.
only went live on OTT.
Yeah. The viewership dropped massively.
Yeah.
So why he's saying it was the most viral pitch was because our social medias work well.
Yeah.
and no YouTube, it's almost 5 million,
Yeah.
for example. So
Yeah.
like the
That's
most,
right.
the most viral pitch this year.
Wow.
And the secret is like this for everyone who's planning to apply to
Buy a
Shark
pair
Tank.
of Dior's, guys.
That
From Culture Circle.
So you can get it for 6.5 lakhs.
But the secret is show up drunk.
Okay.
That's something that really worked well for us.
Every day.
You guys showed up drunk on the set.
Not only the set, even for the audition. So there is a process. Shark Tank has
Don't
an
tell me.
application.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you this is the real Shark Tank journey. For the first time, I was really cool. So the real story is
Probably gonna
Shark
get
Tank-
cut out.
Shark Tank
No,
has-
no, this is not getting cut out.
We're going to get a label notice from Shark Tank.
The Shark Tank has like a 20-page form. That's
Yeah.
the first round of Shark
Okay.
Tank. I filled that form while I was sitting in Goa, incidentally, in Purple Martini. Again, I was super drunk. Filled it up. Did not have too many high hopes because I was drunk while filling the form.
But tab tak Culture Circle had picked up or it was still a project?
It had just picked up.
Okay.
So it had been a couple of months.
And you guys...
4 months until it picked up. Jan 2024.
4-5,
we launched.
yeah, 4-5 months. Correct.
April, May,
It
we
was
applied.
bootstrapped till then?
No.
Okay.
So we had raised funding.
Okay.
But we were profitable already. So
Okay.
like not really utilized funds.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is May we filled the form. In Jan 2024 we launched. May is when we were filling the Shark Tank form. Again, so I was super drunk when I was filling the form. I was like, no hopes, whatever. Let's just fill
Yeah.
it. It's fine. I filled it up. He was actually traveling. He was in the States at that point.
Okay.
So we filled up the form. We actually got a response saying we would love to have you in the audition.
Okay.
The audition is particularly a screen test.
Okay.
So, see, Shark Tank is ultimately a reality TV show that's about business.
Okay.
It's not a business show that's also aired on TV.
Fair.
There's a lot of like drama, masala, everything. So they're like, we want you for an audition. What they meant by an audition was screen test. He actually cut short his trip to the US, flew back,
Okay.
and he went to the audition in Bombay.
So, by the way, it was supposed to be in Delhi.
Okay.
And because I was not back by then, this guy had to go all out to make sure we get one in Mumbai. And you're the only founders there who were stupid enough to fly from
Rest
Mumbai.
everyone were like, Bombay founders. We were the only ones who flew from Delhi.
Okay. So यहाँ पे भी हो रहा था and Bombay में भी.
Basically, major cities they try to capture.
Yeah.
Those
Delhi,
obviously
Bombay, Bangalore.
major cities they try to capture to accommodate all founders.
Fair.
But because I had to fly in for this,
Yeah.
he had an, I think, an all-out fight with that guy.
Yeah. So like I fought with the Shark Tank team ki, we'll give the Bombay audition.
Okay.
We did. And because of the entire scheduling mess up, our schedule, we were supposed to shoot at 2 p.m.
Okay.
The audition.
Huh.
Somehow something happened. In fact, that guy, Mr. What is his name? Flying Beast.
Flying.
So
Yeah.
Flying Beast, no, he was also
Yeah.
in our season. Flying Beast got up.
Yeah.
So we were auditioning like the same day only. And somehow scheduling errors happened. We came at 2. He went in for the audition at 3:30. Our turn came at 8. So by 5 p.m., we were sick and tired of waiting. I'm like, we're like, fuck this shit. We're going to go grab a drink.
Okay.
It was nuts.
And then we started grabbing a drink. So, okay, here's what people get wrong.
Huh.
See, we're co-founders, business partners, etc.
But you're also 27.
And we're best friends.
That
And
is
the point
true.
we're also like 27-year-old best friend,
Yeah.
right? That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It was insane. Like, the moment we realized our shoot has been postponed,
We were like, bar chal, we'll chill. We're sitting at the bar. We started with, okay, we'll have one cocktail. और कितने हमारा खर्च आ जाएगा. Turns out our call came in at 8:30 in the night.
Okay.
So at that point, we were like 4-5 cocktails down, just like sloshed. So yeah, you're like, okay, fuck, we have to go.
Okay.
And they're calling us, where are you? I'm like, yeah, we're wrapping up an urgent work emergency. We're on our way. We went back to their studio and by the time we actually got into the audition, there's these massive lights and cameras because it's like a professional thing.
Yeah.
There's five panelists who are replicating like the sharks.
Okay.
And by the time we walked in and stood there, neither of us could stand straight. Okay, listen, we need to sober up, do this. And that audition went wild.
Okay.
In terms of we just were unhinged.
Yeah.
So those guys were like, we don't care, you get someone else around. These guys need to come on the show.
Okay.
These guys will be great for content.
You know what the problem is?
What?
We don't remember the audition.
We still don't know. Like,
We said some things. You said some things.
Okay.
we get messages from the Shark Tank team, your audition was nuts. Neither of us could even remember what we did in the audition. Like, okay, must be.
Okay.
Sahi hoga.
Fair. So masala ke liye, they were like, we need these.
We
two
made
guys.
these two
Yeah,
guys.
ultimately, again, same thing. Reality TV shows.
Fair.
You can be a great founder and entrepreneur,
Fair.
but have you actually noticed a tech startup in Shark Tank India?
Correct.
It's not there.
Yeah.
So before anything, it's a reality.
Yeah, this is actually a great tip for anyone who's planning to apply. You need to be very like content first and give them great content.
So masala ke liye you guys got in and pitch ho gaya. But what was, in your opinion, in the pitch that was so good about you guys that stood out for the Sharks that you guys got funding also?
Masala is
So the business was good.
yeah, masala is a point to which
TV show and business.
helpful. Yeah, it was helpful. But our pitch also was very well polished and clean.
Yeah.
Because to be very honest and to be candid,
Yeah.
because of the healthy company,
We've done this 50 times.
4 years
over,
we worked, spoken
If you
to
guys
investors.
already had investment in
Correct.
so you have
Even in the healthy company, we raised 3 rounds, so we really knew. Like,
How did you get into this VC and circle? How did you get to know these
so the
guys?
first time was very hard.
Okay.
So, okay, that's another something I don't like about the Indian startup ecosystem, to be very honest. It's much better in the States, for example, which is here it's a very nepotistic culture to a large extent.
100%.
For example, for now, because we're in the circle in the startup ecosystem, for me or Akshay, if we are doing another company tomorrow, it's exponentially easier
100%.
to raise funds
100%.
for this very same idea, very same project at the very same scale than someone else who's starting from a new, because we have those 20 calls we can make who can connect us to the right people, who can vouch for us, etc.
So what did you guys do that worked?
The very first time, it was honestly, we just cold outreached
Okay.
to
There's
60
like a
to
lot of
70.
cold emails, cold LinkedIn messages.
Okay.
60 to 70
yeah.
investors we did like cold email
Hats
to our
off to
pitch
you
deck.
guys. Hats off to you.
And honestly, initially for like the healthy company, see, when you're getting rejected, right? Like nobody talks about this stuff, but honestly, when you're getting rejected, and rejection for me is even if like we emailed them, they're just not replying. It's been a month.
Yeah.
Now you know they're never going to
Straight up
reply.
rejection. Yeah, that's straight up rejection.
Maybe you send them 2 follow-up emails and not replying.
Yeah.
So what we didn't realize at that point, we used to take every rejection very personally.
Okay.
And that's what most people do.
Okay.
What you need to realize is they're not really rejecting you. They might not like your idea. It might not be their sector of interest. They might not know enough about the sector. Right? But that's what happens with most young entrepreneurs. You reach out to 20, 30 investors.
Yeah.
They say no for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And you just think something is wrong with you. And that's a very vicious cycle to get into.
Yeah.
Versus what we really realized is they weren't rejecting us. They were just rejecting the idea, the sector, whatever it might have been.
Like,
What was
that
your
us
first-
in college? So like that hit us hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
First time we raised funds.
What was the first breakthrough for you guys?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, 4-5 investors actually replied. We
Okay.
pitched to them.
Okay.
2-3 of them really liked the idea.
Okay.
And I think, here's another very tactical tip. Usually, when people go out fundraising, they really start and try to focus on business, numbers, etc., etc.
Yeah.
For us, what we realized worked well was ultimately on the other side, the investor is also a human being. कोई computer नहीं है.
Yeah.
Right? So what you really need to do is connect to them with stories. Because people only relate to stories.
100%.
We redid our entire pitch deck and the first slide,
Yeah.
right? It did not say the healthy company. It did not say what we did, whatever. It was just a before and after picture of me and before and after picture of him.
Oh.
And that used to be the first slide of a pitch deck.
Crazy.
You just send it out. And now people are suddenly, okay, curious. Okay, wait. I can clearly see the difference.
Yeah.
Now they want to know more about us.
Wow.
Okay, what's the story here?
Wow.
I know where it worked well.
Where?
The investors who were fact.
I don't think you should say that, but fair. But coming back to Shark Tank,
Yeah.
tell me something that didn't make it in the edit. ऐसा कुछ था?
So many things.
That by the way, do you know like how long the Shark Tank pitches run?
हाँ, it must be
Take a
like
random
2-3 hours.
So so on average, a Shark Tank pitch runs for 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
The edit is 15 minutes.
Yeah,
ultimately,
yeah.
because it's a TV slot. Our pitch went on for over 3 hours. The edit was also 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Because even after cutting out,
Imagine like towards the end, we just standing there like 100 cameras.
Yeah.
It got freaking
mad hot
Yeah.
lighting, like that's I'm sweating by the
Yeah,
end of the
yeah.
pitch. If you ever notice the pitch, we're both sweating because
Yeah.
like in ghantes we were standing in one place, massive lights, massive heat coming to our face.
Yeah. But what do you guys regret? That why didn't this make it to the edit?
So I'll just make it to that.
I gave a lot of shit back to the sharks. To
Oh,
be
did
very
you?
honest.
Like something very specific who we can't name.
No, but every shark I gave a lot of shit
I
back.
mean, there was one who was very outright there.
Okay, so wait.
Be careful.
Wait.
Him or her, like Sula.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nah.
हाँ.
Yeah.
ये अपनी बातें कर रहे हैं. ये पॉडकास्ट में मेरी सरबराह नहीं है.
Him or her was there
With
with
him.
his or her kids.
बेटी है ना उसकी?
दोनों.
Okay. Anyway.
यहाँ पर एक.
Yeah, so anyway.
So you get it back to the shark.
So I'll tell you a couple of things, yeah. So, firstly, we were honestly, ours is a very straightforward, simple to understand business from
Yeah.
what we understand. Like even
It's
when
an Amazon for shoes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Amazon for
Mm.
limited. Exactly.
Yeah.
Amazon limited edition product.
Yeah.
Correct.
You understood how you got it within like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The first 45 minutes of our pitch went in explaining to each of them what our business is. And I'm like, bro, I have pitched to 100 investors before this.
Yeah.
I have never faced so much trouble explaining what our
No,
business
but
is.
I think
Is
Kunal.
something wrong with us or is something wrong with you?
Okay.
To the point, out of the type sharks,
Yeah.
2 of them understood the business. 2 of them are smart. And they were explaining the others what our business. They were completing our
2
sentences.
of them were smarter.
Okay.
Two of them were smarter,
Okay.
and they understood the business,
Yeah.
and they were explaining our business to the other 3. So the other 3 had no idea, like, what do you do? How do you make money? This, that.
Okay.
this, all
I
that.
don't want you guys to say it, so I'm just gonna guess it. Vinita.
Which side I guess man?
We
Smarter
cannot-
or you're smart?
The people who needed, to
Explanation.
yeah, needed an explanation. So I would say Vinita.
I would tell you, but then I would have to kill you.
Don't not.
We can neither confirm or deny.
Deny.
Was Namita on your?
Yes.
Yeah,
Namita?
Yeah.
And I would say Aman would have understood. I love the
Or maybe
reaction.
not.
Okay. Who else is there?
Kunal and Ritesh.
Did Anupam understand?
No, Kunal
So
and
Anupam
Ritesh
was
were
not there.
Okay.
Anupam and Piyush were not there in a panel.
Okay.
Kunal,
Unfortunately.
Ritesh. Yeah. Piyush
We
was
love them.
super smart.
I think Ritesh would have found it difficult to understand.
I think Ritesh would have, but Oyo being essentially a two-sided marketplace again,
correct.
he did
Okay.
quite quickly.
So these would be my guesses, but
You're not that wrong.
Okay, fair,
We can neither confirm or deny.
fair,
We kind of just did confirm, but
You did.
fair. Now moving on from Shark Tank, life must have changed, right? Popular, famous. You have people connecting with you, reaching out to you. You guys are becoming a big company now. Tell me that one moment you realized that, okay, Culture Circle is going somewhere. It's going to be something very big in India in the next 2-3 years. What was that moment for you guys?
I'll tell you very honestly, this is before Shark Tank.
Okay.
Okay. And like we used to post and everything about Culture Circle. So like my friends know. Okay, I'm the founder man. His friends know.
Yeah.
But the real test for us has been when we've really seen like random people. What we used to love to do,
Yeah.
for example, is let's say we're at a restaurant, at a bar, whatever. We'd see someone wearing like cultured
Yeah.
sneakers
Yeah.
or like some, cultured streetwear.
Yeah.
We know like, like this is someone who's got it from resale. Like this is not available. It's a limited edition product. So anytime we saw anyone or even a watch for that matter,
Yeah.
we just asked them, where do you get it from? And if initially it was, a bunch of answers we got from Europe, we went out, this, that,
Yeah.
etc. It was
Yeah.
gift.
Yeah.
Eventually, by I would say September of last year, September 2024, that's when the pivot really happened. When we talk to people and we'd see more than half of them are somehow naming Culture Circle.
And they don't know you guys.
They don't know us.
Oh.
It was like to be very honest, our faces got attached to the brand
Yeah.
post
After
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank.
Post Shark. Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
that, like there was no way people knew us
Exactly.
unless they've seen like Devansh's ad. We on the Insta channel.
Okay. Okay.
That many of you would recognize
Yeah.
because I had a very viral ad that literally went like, "Stop getting fucked, oh pink for your drip."
Yeah. I've seen that one.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So that ad went super viral.
Yeah.
Someone who'd seen that would be able to recognize me, but otherwise, people
Fair.
wouldn't know. And when we really started seeing those people
Recognize you.
not recognize us, but
Culture
tell
circle.
us that culture circle is the answer.
Yeah.
That's like, we're definitely onto something.
Damn.
People are really adopting. And honestly, with business, right, numbers never lie. Like, so, if the revenue is going up, retention is going up, kind of traffic we're getting is going up, we always knew
Wow.
that, so it was way before Shark Tank. We always knew Shark Tank is just like a booster rocket to the ship that we've built ultimately, right?
Wow.
So
We'll get to numbers also, but before that, we have another segment coming up, which is the hot seat. This was a general discussion with the Hypemen. A lot of fun already and a lot more to come. So stay tuned, guys. We'll catch you in the hot seat now. Welcome back. We are now in the hot seat segment where I'm going to be asking Devansh and Akshay rapid fire like questions where they have to be quick and quirky with their answers. So guys, get ready. You're sitting on the hot seat now. Before I start with this,
this is Coffee with Karan. Thanks for inviting us to Coffee with Karan.
you guys,
Coffee with Adhiraj. Let's go, guys.
yes. Before we start with the rapid fire, you guys must be seeing there's something kept right over here, which is a very weird but cool, but okay, I'm sorry, but a nice trend.
In the
Okay,
culture.
it's trending like crazy right now in the culture market, is what I like to call it. It's called a labubu. I would like,
The expression which Adhiraj made. It's called a labubu.
yeah, it originates from China, and I don't know much about it, so we're gonna get to know a lot more about it as well. And this box is actually a mystery box, so any one type of labubu can come out of it, and depending on that, you make your collection. I don't know what the whole scene is exactly. Maybe these guys know better. So I would like for one of you guys to unbox this mystery labubu. For that, just do a rock, paper, scissors for me to decide who will unbox it.
Best
Okay?
of one.
Best of one. Best of one.
Done.
Huh.
You want to do rock, paper, scissors, and shoot.
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay. So
Our
Devansh,
rematch.
I would like you to unbox this labubu and
This is the
show us.
cola one. Which one is this?
This is a mystery box.
No, no, this
Anything
is
come
a
out can come out of
macaron.
it.
Oh, this is how
Yeah.
to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, how much did you get this for at Culture Circle?
So the market price is 6,000. Get it on Culture Circle only for 3,500 right now.
Okay.
You overpaid for this, didn't you?
The context is he's taken to Niharika, who's bought apparently 6 labubu.
Yeah.
And Adhiraj was the one to buy 2 of them.
No, Niharika is the one who's bought 2 of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where are the remaining 4?
I have to get her one. Her mother is supposed to get her one. Her sister is supposed to get her
What
one.
will you do with 6 labubus? What's wrong with you?
She wants the collection.
Oh God.
Okay.
It is because
So this
Amazing
is
people like Niharika are seeing the side of it.
yeah, this is a big this thing for Noni, because there's one specific labubu. What is
What
it?
do you want?
What is it called? That labubu? She wants the ZZ or the hee, and the one she doesn't want is the Dada. She doesn't want the Dada.
Do you have any colors associated with that?
Easier.
Because it's
I was just like, what the fuck is this, bro?
Okay.
ZZ. He
Moment of truth.
Moment of
Moment of
truth.
truth.
Come on, let's go. We know a ZZ.
What do you think it is?
It's a ZZ. It's a for sure it's a ZZ.
Let's check it out.
Whoa.
What is it? Which one is this?
It's a CC. Okay. And have we won or have we lost?
It's a circle. See.
Yes, that is the point.
Yeah.
Do you have
Can you
it?
check on the box what it says? It shows all the this thing labubus on the right.
Labubu's a
side.
collection.
Yeah. Which one is it?
So it reads Baba.
Okay, this
And something in Chinese.
This is the Baba. It's a Baba.
No,
you
it's a
didn't want this
CC.
one.
It's a CC.
Okay, it's a CC.
It's a CC.
Guys, everyone is very confused.
Guys, hot take. One of the founders of the customer is colorblind. Doing this one.
Wait. Now figure it out.
Yeah. You guys figure it out, okay? Regardless,
Congratulations.
whatever this is, ugly, beautiful, nice, bad,
Beautiful.
okay, I want to know your take on Labubus. Is it being cultured or not? And what is your take on Labubus?
Being cultured for sure.
Okay.
So I'll tell you, Labubus, in my personal opinion, were never supposed to take off.
Okay.
Like, look at this. I thought this will never sell for 4,000, 6,000, or a pack of 6 for 30,000.
I thought it's this small. Okay. And I was like, chalo theek hai, at
That's
least
what she
big.
said.
Podcast is gone. Anyways.
No, but my personal take is, I think the person who's built this has done a very good job with marketing.
Yeah.
I agree.
100%.
It's on mic.
Yeah.
But love it. Well, I'll tell you, the moment we started
Marketing
doing
genius.
50 of these per day.
You're selling 50 of these per day.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So like across categories, like big into energy, healthy.
Coca-Cola, there's Crying Baby Labubu.
Yeah.
There's Macaron.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
And like that is the moment I realized these things are very, very hyped. And probably another 1 month, they'll stay hyped.
But you know what the inside gossip on this? You know how Labubus got popular originally?
No, I know nothing about Labubus.
So how Labubus got popular originally was
Yeah.
Rihanna was spotted
Okay.
putting up like one of these Labubus on her bag.
Okay.
The very next day, BTS
Yeah.
was spotted. Then Pink Black.
Okay.
K-pop bands were spotted.
Oh.
So the theory is...
It's a made up hype?
No. Yeah. So the theory is...
Oh.
See, this wasn't a very popular collectible, right?
Yeah.
There is no way that Rihanna would post it one day, it would
Yeah.
go viral, and the very next morning, you would have BTS, Blackpink, etc.
Yeah.
All of them suddenly have it.
It's
Then Central C shows up 2 days later with a collection of 200 Labubus. There is no way all these celebrities would have randomly just been collecting Labubus.
coincidentally doing it at
Correct.
the same time. Yeah.
So a very big theory is this was all like a planned PR move by
But a
Pop
good
Mart.
PR move.
Yeah.
Good PR move.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
Wherein, the founder paid all of these celebrities and coordinated a PR hype just within that 1 week wherein everyone would suddenly have a Labubu.
Okay.
And he made $1.6 billion in a single day. So it got paid off. Like, no matter how you viewed the ROI, it paid off.
No, Chinese people are crazy.
Yeah. It's
They're very
insane.
out of the box
Yeah.
ideas. Like,
And I tell you what's happening now.
Yeah.
Because Pop Mart Labubus got popular. What's selling at Culture Circle is Labubus. But there's a bunch of Pop Mart collectibles like Powerpuff Girls
Yeah.
and a bunch more.
They also started.
All of them are selling out. Like the moment we get them in stock, they're sold out the very next day.
But look at it. Just look at it. Okay. From your perspective, I know what the answer might be. But from someone, I don't want to be, this
Did you
way
watch Pokemon?
Yeah.
Snorlax.
Yeah, something like that. That vibe comes from Japan, China, these places. But I just want to
I
know.
love my mic.
poor lads.
I want to know that as founders of, Hypemen and selling Labubus, what do you think is the psychology behind the customer? Why are they buying?
Collectibles.
That's it.
No, I'll tell
To
you.
buy
I think
collectibles.
girls are finding something
Herd mentality, bro.
interesting.
Nothing else. Herd mentality.
Collectibles.
Okay.
If they have it, I want to have it.
Okay.
Ask
me
can
too.
we don't- Yeah, I want
It's all me too.
So it's the normal hype.
collectibles. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything hypeware is essentially if they have it, we want to have it.
I'll tell you, road Liptons, right? Road phone cases and the Liptons
Yeah,
were
yeah,
super
yeah.
popular. What's the utility? Not much,
Yeah.
frankly, right?
But some at least compared to Labubu. What is the utility of it?
I mean, it's acting as a good mic cover.
Okay, whatever. That was about Labubus, guys. But let's get back to the rapid fire round now. So how do we do this? I'll go one by one, or you guys
Let's
want to
have a
answer?
buzzer. Whoever
Okay.
wants to answer first has to
Okay.
say Labubu.
Okay,
Labubu.
good one. Fair.
Wow.
Fair. Can we remove this box from the frame, please? Yeah. Okay, let's start. Ready, guys?
Done.
Done.
So we have to say Labubu as like
If you want to answer, you have to say Labubu.
Labubu,
and
and then you answer. Whoever says Labubu first gets to answer.
done.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Most underrated sneaker brand no one talks about.
Labubu.
He said it first.
You don't know.
No, you have to say it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say honestly Asics.
Okay.
Asics are some of the most comfortable sneakers ever. Not too high on lifestyle or fashion,
Yeah.
but super comfortable.
Okay.
Also not underrated anymore, but was Hoka.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna
Now
say
picking
Hoka.
up,
Yeah.
but it used to be underrated till like last year.
Okay. Fair.
So, yeah.
Fair. Most overhyped collab of all time.
Labubu.
Okay.
Labubu is the answer. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
So the most
Labubu and
over.
Coca-Cola.
Good answer.
Also Stanley x Starbucks.
Okay. Why? Any reason for that? I
It,
don't like
it just
that
doesn't
collab.
make sense.
Why?
Stanley X Starbucks makes the most
Most
sense.
sense. I,
I don't think either of those brands make sense individually.
Starbucks, separate coffee.
Starbucks overrated shit coffee.
He's taken it personally
Yeah.
because he told me he
Starbucks.
collects the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'll tell you.
I want all the people in this room.
Okay, so Starbucks overpriced shit coffee.
Okay.
Stanley overpriced, not shit, good quality, but overpriced.
Yeah, overpriced. Hai.
Mugs.
Mugs, yeah.
Except you can get on Culture Circle for half the price, so go get the app right now.
Yes.
But
Brand integration is a must in this podcast.
overpriced tumblers,
Okay.
and when you get them two together,
Okay.
it's just overpriced nothing.
Fair. Yeezys or Jordans?
Labubu.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay.
I am wearing New Balance.
Fair. This one might be, brain picking one. Virgil Abloh or Travis Scott, who had more cultural impact?
Labubu, 100% Virgil Abloh.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Like the original 10 off-whites still, like in terms of the sneakers,
Fair.
for sure.
Fair.
Cultural impact, overall, of course, Travis Scott, he's a musician, like more people know of him
Yeah.
than Virgil Abloh any day.
Yeah.
But in terms of purely sneakers, fashion, hypewear, the man did Off-White, then went on to become the creative director of LV. Again, defined a generation of what fashion would look
Okay.
like.
Okay. Good answer. Who is
Okay, Virgil Abloh.
Yeah, I know. I know who is the founder of Fight.
He Alia Bhatt hai. हमारे podcast की. वैसे who's the
You can't blame him, man. He's a coder. Like,
Yeah.
look at the stereotype coder in India. They know nothing
He's a
about
rapper. Who's Shania Bhatt? Shania Kapoor.
Shania Bhatt.
Fair. Okay. Next question. Who is the most cultured Kardashian in your opinion?
Labubu. Kim.
Kendall.
Are you mad? Bro,
I would agree with Kim.
Yeah.
All of them on one
Wait,
side.
wait.
Kendall on one side.
One question. Have you seen
Yes.
all of those episodes and on Kardashian?
No,
I,
we are keeping up with. Bye. Bye.
So I'll tell you, when you get a girlfriend, and to get a girlfriend, you have to.
I'm going how to fire a co-founder.
Bro, watch that.
Don't think
guys,
we
लड़ाई नहीं करनी
We will never be able to raise a funding round after this on the process.
नहीं
I've also seen the trailer.
Honestly, my girlfriend made me watch it, and she and I was like,
Which one?
The Kardashians. The Kardashians.
No, as a girlfriend.
I only have one. Okay.
Lamu back के ऊपर.
And she's sitting right here, guys. Okay, next question.
This part he's gonna edit out.
Yeah, 100%. Cut. Okay. The most cultured Indian celebrity.
Labubu. Close to, but number one, Ranbir Kapoor.
Okay.
Because his fashion game is just on point.
You think he's cultured though?
He's very cultured.
Oh, really?
And he's understated. So he's not like showing your face. Like he's not Ranveer Singh. Right? He's like understated.
Ranbir Kapoor or Ranveer Singh?
Ranbir Kapoor any day.
Ranbir Kapoor. I think it's
If I'm missing Ranveer Singh, I can go into any Punjabi bar club and see 20,000 Ranveer Singhs there every day.
Shit.
The fashion, everything.
he meant Labubu Coke.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola guys. Yeah.
Ranveer Singh, to guys, go to Punjabi bar, bro. Go to. Everyone there is Ranveer.
A lot of names are brands.
Lord, guys, you must have just heard a lot of beeps.
Yeah.
Those were
Yeah.
we can't.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm making this episode viral. Ravi, don't trust me.
Content game very strong.
That's why Devansh is marketing for.
Next question. Streetwear in Delhi or Mumbai, who's better?
Labubu. Streetwear in Bombay.
Okay.
Streetwear in Delhi is just wearing one or two brands which have a puff, cloudy print, and everyone in a particular club in Delhi looks the same because they're all wearing that XYZ brand. It's very me too.
But Bombay people understand the culture.
Bombay will understand fashion way better.
Yeah.
And this coming from someone who's a Delhi boy.
वहाँ पे वो भी है ना Indian hip hop scene.
Yeah. Like, otherwise, I feel like Bombay boys are pussies.
Okay.
I've voiced it out very publicly.
Okay.
You know what we call Bombay boys?
What?
Women. So I voiced it very publicly.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So Bombay boys you don't like, but honestly, when it comes to fashion, when it was streetwear, they have their game on point. Delhi is all about logo culture.
Fair.
You want that large, loud logo in front.
But aren't you guys Delhi boys?
Yeah.
That's what like we are Delhi boys, but Mumbai boys.
Can't you see the logo?
Can't you see the logo?
Fair.
Dude, I went to Car Social recently.
Huh.
Within one night, I was at Summer House one night and it was all logos.
Okay.
I went to Car Social the other night when I flew out to Mumbai. Everyone was dripped out in Mumbai. Like I've lived
like people
what is
know
the fashion?
Jewelry also.
People look
Yeah,
fashion in Bombay.
everything. Everything is Mumbai.
Okay. Next question. What's the craziest thing any of you have done to cop a pair?
To cop a pair.
Labubu.
Okay.
Build culture circle.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay. If you had 1 lakh rupees today, which pair would you flip?
Which way would I flip? I'm buying and selling.
Yeah.
Okay. Labubu. I think Travis is easily.
Which one?
Okay.
Phantoms, for sure.
Okay.
They go for like 89K.
Yeah,
Even if I
Phantoms
sell
price
for
will
115, that'd be easy.
Okay.
It's a very
We'll think about profit maximization. right?
maximization.
What I would do actually, Labubu, is I would actually buy 3 AJ1 Lost and Found.
Okay.
Chicago
How much
Lost
are
and
they
Founds.
for?
They're for about 36K.
Okay.
I would buy 3 of those in a lakh roughly. And I think they would actually give me more profit.
Okay.
I think Lost and Found won't right now.
The last AJ1 Chicago red colorway, they would easily double.
But Culture Circle में तो discounted मिलते हैं ना?
So the market price is 52,000. You can get it at Culture Circle only worth 6,000 right now.
Fair. Okay. One thing you'd never wear, even if it was free.
Labubu.
That's the answer. Fair. Good answer.
I would not carry that in my bag or where do you carry this? Many bag.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
Do you carry a handbag?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's the
It
first
can be a
question.
bag also. No, it can be like a bag
carrying a
also.
handbag.
No, it can be a normal bag.
It can be an office bag.
Yeah.
It's okay, bro. We're not judgmental. We're in 2025. It's okay to be.
You.
Bro, Timothy Chalamet, Tom Holland. Bro, you're in good company.
Timothy Chalamet.
All fanboys. Yeah.
The hottest one.
Kylie's not the hottest Kardashian person. Kendall is the hottest.
Hot mad.
Kendall.
She's so
Kendall or Kylie?
Huh?
Kendall or
the hot
Kylie?
one, Kendall.
Who's no
Kylie.
Kylie? Kendall.
Kylie.
Kylie. Kendall is beautiful, bro.
Kendall or Kylie, who's the hotter one? I would say Kylie.
Kendall is
CP.
Kendall is beautiful.
Soon.
Kendall is pretty.
Yeah, that is there. Maybe
I'll
hotter.
clear this
Beautiful.
up.
Yeah.
We have seen Kardashians because of our significant others.
Yeah.
Okay. Trust me, they're coming from very
Experienced.
Informed
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
perceived.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Let's move on. Can hype be manufactured?
Labubu, yes.
Yeah, Labubu. Yeah.
Every answer is Labubu.
Stupid question. Sorry.
Parts.
Yeah.
Even Stanley, okay,
Yeah.
Labubu, but Stanley, like
Okay.
originally how it got super popular
Yeah.
was there was this car crash in the
Okay.
States and everything was damaged. Like the entire car was smashed. Everything in the car was smashed. Only the girl got saved who was driving it, and a Stanley mug got saved. And the visuals of that were so powerful. Stanley as a company decided we're gonna get this girl a new car and pay for all the insurance damages, everything. And that's how Stanley came in the news. And then Stanley became a trend, and the white girl aesthetic, everything that followed.
All hype, 90% of the hype is manufactured.
Yeah.
Like they're just smart marketing people who are running this.
Oh.
For Nike, they were ready to pay, I think, $5,000 per penalty Because when you wear these shoes, right, there is a
NBA has a rule.
percentage of red you can have in basketball.
More than 20% is not allowed. Like it has to be white.
Okay.
And
the
I was
sneakers.
like, fuck it, we'll pay $5,000
And they had
per time.
50-60% was red. The first ever Air Jordan 1, the Chicago, 1985. It was primarily 50% was red. So they had to pay $5,000 per game. That Michael
It's
Jordan played.
nothing in the marketing they got.
Yeah, billions of
There was
dollars.
idea like manufacture this hype and let it go viral over social
That's why one of the Jordans is literally named the AJ1 Chicago Band. Because it's banned by the NBA. And it's a red sneaker.
That must go for like lakhs of rupees or something.
Yeah, no, band is actually cheaper, but the original 1985, it's priceless.
Fair. Is Justin Bieber the blueprint for effortless streetwear or just a rich guy in pajamas?
Labubu, of course, just a rich guy in pajamas.
Can we talk a little about what fallout he's having on social media right now? Something
He's launching his own brand, no?
But what's going on with him?
Skylark.
He's
Yeah.
launching
So is this
Skylark.
also a marketing move?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Whatever you see on social media is 95% of the time is marketing
Okay.
or PR. So Skylark was poised to be launched long back, but he had a deal with Drew. He
Okay.
did not get out of it.
Okay.
What better way is there to go all out and to shit on Drew that these are the bad guys? And by the way, I'm launching my own brand called Skylark.
You know where he learned it? Kanye. Kanye shit on Yeezys by Adidas.
Yeah.
He burnt.
Yeah.
The guy is like, okay,
Yeah.
insane story. So, they had a fallout, of course, Adidas
Yeah.
and Kanye after he tweeted against
Yeah,
the Jews, right? He was
Yeah.
like tweeting Nazi shit.
Yeah.
They banned him. After, I think 6 months, they were like, okay, we'll reach a peace reconciliation because, of course, Yeezys is a lot of money for Adidas and Kanye.
Yeah.
Kanye is like, okay, fine, I'll make peace with you and give me the remaining Yeezy stock. The guy pretended to reach peace with Adidas, signed a contract, took the remaining Yeezy stock in a truck and burned that truck. He's like, fuck Yeezy, I'm going to launch my own Yeezy. This is not the real Yeezy. So it's So Justin Bieber is also doing like similar shit. Like he's learned that from Kanye and that's why he's doing what he's doing.
Crazy.
Yep.
Okay. We're now coming to a sub-segment of this segment where it's specifically designed for you guys. You guys have to tell me cultured or uncultured based on the scenario that I give you. Okay. The first scenario. Wearing slides with socks in Delhi summers.
Uncultured.
Labubu.
No, it's fine.
Oh, it's open.
Both of you answer.
Okay.
Yeah, uncultured.
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 Wearing slides somewhere that's not your bathroom or your house is uncultured in the first place. And that is something Bombay boys, women will never get.
This is like the best way for me to be like, we are just co-founders. We don't share the same opinion.
I'll have to put a 10-second disclaimer about this podcast. No opinion here is intended on any way serious. It's all fun and games, right?
Yeah, you don't really need to. You know why? Bombay boys can't fight back. So you don't really need to.
Don't you mean to say women can't?
बेचारे serious हो गया. Okay. Moving on. Cultured or not, people who only wear panda dunks to flex.
Uncultured.
Why would you wear panda dunks to flex?
True.
That's not a flex for me.
Yeah, panda dunks used to sell for like 25,000-30,000 until 2020.
Okay.
And then they're now selling for like 7K, 8K.
7K, 8K, it's not even a flex, guys. This is like get over panda dunks. Like they're a good classic pair. It's
They used to be a
fashionable.
good classic.
It's a good classic pair. Like buy it if you want.
Sambas
like,
have taken over for sure.
Okay.
I don't
No, but
see
neither of them is a flex. Like neither is Samba nor a
classic,
panda
but is like
Okay. This next scenario, I want you guys to look at it from a little emotional perspective also. Like maybe they can't afford it in that perspective. So buying replicas, if the OGs are too expensive, is that being cultured or?
No, very uncultured.
Uncultured.
Even emotionally, yeah. My point is, see, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. Like there's plenty
What
of
if someone who can't afford it wants to be cultured?
buy H&M, buy Zara, like buy any of
That's
those.
so mean.
Yeah, that's not mean.
No, I'm just
If
being
we
very
can't
honest.
afford it, it's fine.
Then you
okay.
don't come
I
here.
tell you, we can't afford something which I can't afford a Richard Mille.
Okay.
Right? But still I won't get a fake. If you can't afford it, that's something wrong with
Just
it.
buy an Apple Watch. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. He's very one, guys. Okay.
Still more cultured, bro.
Still going
Apple Watch
cultured.
is fine. I get notifications there. You get notifications.
Okay.
But yeah, so the point is, okay, no, I want to say this for everyone. If you can't afford, let's say, Jordans or whatever, it's completely okay. Please do not feel pressure to put up a certain perception of yourself that's not true, because it's nothing to do with the shoe. You can get that fake shoe, but it's to do with your identity, your life. Why do you want to try and put up a facade to please other people?
Fair.
Buy H&M, buy Red Tape, buy whatever, it doesn't matter. Buy Bata for that matter. Nobody cares. But just don't try and spend more than your budget allows you for XYZ sneaker. That's just not worth it in life. Like you realize.
I love how Devansh switches up from being in whole and
Being from, these people are vanilla.
so serious. Guys, listen to me.
Yeah, like 5 years later, nobody's gonna care what sneakers you're wearing 5 years ago, guys.
Yeah.
If you can't afford it, don't waste your money.
Fair. Good advice. Great advice, guys. Cultured or not, wearing hypewear just for reels and Insta posts.
Cultured, I think. Fine.
Like, for example, I don't like wearing, not saying that it is
Yeah.
true, but for example, I don't like wearing cultured clothes outside, but when I'm posting, I like to post in culture.
I would think, it's fashionable to say uncultured, but cultured because isn't that what we all are doing anyway?
Exactly.
Like every bit of hightwear is status signal.
Forget that.
Yeah.
All of life at this point.
I love how these guys are the founders of the culture market and they look at culture so differently from the general audience. I love that.
No,
Do
I
what you're comfortable in. Have fun. Go out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, when the Coldplay concert was here, a bunch of people couldn't get tickets. Right?
Yeah.
So people were selling tags on Coldplay stories for like 200 rupees, 10 rupees a story. So then you can repost and pretend that you're there.
You were there, yeah.
So when that is happening in your real life, I mean, it's okay if someone is buying hype streetwear to flex, because directly or indirectly, that's what you're doing in your rest of your life anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Good answer. Cultured or not, wearing designer brands like Balenciaga with no knowledge of the culture.
Cultured. If you can afford it, wear whatever the fuck you want.
That's just him getting more sales.
If you can afford it, you don't need to know the brand story. You don't need to know the backstory. If you like a piece,
What do you think, actually?
don't be brand conscious. If you like it, wear it. If you don't like it, don't wear it just because from a brand.
Same answer.
Okay, good answer.
Because we keep launching Pauline and Longchamp. One don't you sell?
Okay. Cultured or not, buying sneakers just to keep them as collectibles.
Cultured, bro. It's also a good financial decision.
Yeah.
Sneakers are collectibles, just like Labubus, watches, alcohol bottles. They are collectibles first, then it's a fashion statement.
Okay.
Cultured for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question for this segment. One word for the hypewear and the sneaker market in India on where it's going.
Blowing up.
Okay.
Rocket ship.
Okay. Good answer. Well, yeah, that was the hot seat with these guys. Such fun answers. For the first time, I've enjoyed and enjoying this a podcast so much. So thank you for that, guys.
Do we get a hamper?
I'll try. Next time
I'll keep the Labu. I'm keeping CC.
Okay.
Zababa.
CC.
अभी तक decide नहीं हुआ है ये क्या है. Guys, tell me in the comments what it is.
The founder.
Okay. But
Written, bro.
this was the hot seat segment with the hype men. They're just talking to each other all the time. But we'll catch you now in the Finance 101 segment where we're gonna get a little serious with some numbers, some business side of things. Let's see how much they're willing to reveal in that. So yeah, we'll catch you in the next segment now. Welcome back. We're now in the Finance 101 segment where I'm gonna be asking some numbers, some financial related questions to these guys. They are tech geniuses. They are founders. Let's see if they are willing to reveal or not. Devansh is. But let's see. Okay. My first question is, guys, you guys are essentially tech people, coders from, your background, and you've basically introduced tech to culture, right? So you build a platform for
marketing line.
Yeah.
We will use tech
To culture.
Yeah, so that's what's trending right now. There's tech and there's culture. Two things trending, you've combined it. You build a platform where people can list their sneakers, sell it to customers. You guys are taking a commission. is what I
Perfumes,
understand.
t-shirts,
Yeah.
handbags, everything.
I love the fact that I say sneakers, just sneakers, and he's like, "Sare batao."
Perfumes,
Clearly.
t-shirts.
Because for me, it's just sneakers.
everything.
For me, it's like sneakers में हूँ मैं तो सोचूं sneakers ही पता है मेरे को. So essentially, what I'm trying to ask is, how does it work for a reseller and then for you guys? How are resellers getting on board? How are you guys making money? Thoda explain about that.
So I'll tell you, it was when we launched Culture Circle, it was essentially a platform where we listed 5 common websites.
Okay.
उस time पे जो prevalent थी.
Okay.
Then we had 2 sellers reach out to us. They were like, we also have like 50 pieces of inventory. Can we list? We did not have like any system to list them. So we did a very jugadu method. We asked them to list it on a Google sheet and be like, we'll pick it up from there.
Okay.
Eventually we realized this is a very unorganized
We were
market to
managing
operate
100
in.
Google Sheets within 15 days.
Imagine.
Because the kind of traffic we were getting on the demand side was insane.
Okay.
And zero marketing. People were telling their friends about it. If I found out for Culture Circle, I'd tell you there's a cool website wherein I'm seeing the same product, 18,000 or 34,000.
Yeah.
Just visit this site before you buy so that you know the right place to buy.
So how does a reseller get on board?
So
now.
we've never ever, apart from one seller, the first one we had, reached out to a seller to onboard them. It was always word of mouth.
Oh wow.
So we built this application called SourceX, which is essentially a listing platform, a buying intelligence platform for sellers.
Source X.
Yeah, it's SourceX. So it was a realization we had after Shark Tank, where Devansh was apparently practicing his pitch and he was saying it so fast. It sounded like SourceX.
You're like, why do you think Source X is nationality? I'm like, Source X.
Okay.
SourceX is a seller side platform. So sellers register there.
Okay.
We take easily 2 weeks to KYC verify them, check their background checks, etc. And then once they're verified and approved, they get to list.
Okay.
And उसमें हमने और भी easy कर दिया. We went like simply select a product and set your payout price.
Okay.
Be like if you want to sell this, set your payout price to 20,000.
Okay.
We'll automatically set our small percentage over there
Okay.
and list it on Culture Circle.
Oh,
And
okay.
this
So
small
you're
percentage.
working on markups.
Correct.
Okay.
And the small markup we put is basically to tell the customer that we are authenticating this pair.
Hanji.
We are making sure of there's no damages,
Yeah.
all the logistics.
Yeah.
Condition,
Condition is fine.
Yeah.
Plus
customer service.
customer service, etc. When is it shipping?
Yeah.
Plus, like one major thing is, which nobody sees it, is buyer protection. Like the seller does not get paid until the pair is delivered to Adhiraj. For 4 or 5 days, he's satisfied. Then the seller gets paid.
Oh.
Opposite of you buy it off Instagram, you have to pay upfront. By chance, the seller stops responding.
Yeah.
By chance, you get
Doesn't
damaged
ship,
seller.
ships the
Where's your
ship,
protection?
Very likely. Very
ships the
likely.
wrong size, wrong color, wrong product.
Yeah.
Do you have to chase the seller on Instagram? No. So that is what we solve for. Like a small markup is there, and that's how we earn money. Like
Okay.
we're taking care of all.
So can a
logistics,
17-year-old boy also get listed on Culture Circle with his collection?
There was a 16-year-old seller when we opened our Delhi store. This guy came in very kind to give all of his inventory for consignment. So while we were just going, we're chatting with him. This guy's like, by the way, it's been 8 months. I've been actively reselling. I just purchased a Fortuner from just the money of reselling in 8 months.
Damn.
Own money.
So you think reselling as a market is becoming something that can be a viable career
It's
for
a
some
very,
people?
it's super
A lot of people
profitable.
are doing
Yeah.
it full time, man. A lot of people are doing it.
It's a good income
I
source.
just spoke to a
Extremely.
seller.
A lot of people quit their jobs.
I used to think it's like a side hustle.
It starts as a side. You're right. It
Yeah.
starts as a side hustle. But once you get a hang of the market, once you realize cash flows, you would earn way more.
Okay.
Somebody just
any
quit
other
his job at KPMG
Okay.
to do this full time.
Many people do it, and like we have. So the oldest reseller on our seller side platform would be probably 45, 46 years old.
Oh.
And the youngest would be as low as probably 13, 14 years.
13.
Okay. So let me understand this deeper now for the viewers also. Let's say it's a 20,000 sneaker. That's the payout the reseller wants. You guys listed for 23,000. So you keep 3,000. Okay. ऐसे अगर आप मेरे को एक एवरेज परसेंटेज बता दो ऑन ऑल स्नीकर्स और whatever hypewear categories you have, all of them, what percentage are you making on each item?
It's very different. Oh, for each
What is the
category.
average percentage you guys are making?
Between 10 to 15.
Okay.
and it's very different for all categories.
Okay.
So for sneakers, it's probably in the 9 to 10% range.
Okay.
We also have a dynamic pricing algorithm based on the rarity of the sneakers. So it's a
Okay.
very regular common sneaker. The commission is very low because you can get it everywhere. If it's a
For example,
super
it's a Samba. Like you can get it everywhere. We won't
Samba,
that
Panda Dunks, J1 lows, right? Very low. If it's a super rare sneaker, which will take a lot of time in sourcing, it's super rare. Maybe only 15 pieces are left in the world, like the J1 Dior High.
Okay.
For example,
hypothetically.
Orange Lobster special box.
Okay.
That's super expensive.
So therein we keep a higher margin because the time, effort, logistics to manage everything is higher.
Okay.
So it's based on the rarity of the sneaker. Then
So this algorithm, how does it understand the rarity?
because we're scraping 234 websites globally in real time to get a global supply chain
Fair.
of where each product is available.
Wow.
So look at it as like a typical supply demand platform.
yeah.
We know 100,000 people are looking at it,
Yeah.
and we know that there are just, for example, random numbers. There's just 100 pairs available for it according to this law.
And maybe 10 are in Albania, 10 are in, say, Czech Republic, 20 are in US. So we have that visibility, right, which nobody else has.
Okay.
So that we're able to leverage to get the customers
Wow.
the best product at the best prices
Wow.
in the shortest shipping time possible.
Okay.
So that so just to give you a comparison, right, where we have really excelled and why we've been able to grow without burning a lot is because marketing is a very low percentage of our revenue. And why we've achieved that is, for example, our competitors, so to say, right, they would have say 1,000, 2,000 unique products on their website, which is great.
Yeah.
1,000 are not bad.
Yeah.
We have over 1 lakh unique products on our website.
Okay.
The core difference, right, there is we have a global supply chain. They have what's available in India.
Yeah.
We have a global supply chain.
Yeah. You can source it from any country.
Any country.
Correct.
Okay.
Because we have that data and that
Okay.
insight through our scraping system as to what's available where.
Even if they're not listed.
So so when we're scraping, we listed and we have a pricing algorithm saying if X product is available in Y country, say if X product is available in Czech Republic
Yeah.
for $300, at what price I would be able to get it in India after paying customs and everything. And that is the price I'm able to compute and show to the customer
smart.
that this price I'd be able to get you in. And once the customer is willing to pay that price, then we can source it.
Okay.
And that's why commission is higher in these transactions because we're doing all of that effort, sourcing it internationally, managing customs, etc.
Fair.
So earlier we used to, just display all the prices.
Yeah.
Once we realized we have the capability, fetch inventory from across the world,
Yeah.
we started showing delivery timeline also on Culture Circle.
Yeah.
So for anywhere we feel there's a higher time gap or wherever our effort would be more, we show 28 days and then 7 days or 3 days for whatever inventory we have with the sellers.
Okay.
Hence we have, apart from prices, now a delivery timeline also added on Culture Circle.
And what we do is like one thing in business that's super important, I feel, is we realized very late. So with your customers, just under promise and over deliver. So if I know I'll be able to get a product in 4 days, I will commit 7 days to the customer and then delight them saying, I got it for you in 4 days. If I know I can get this product in 18 days, I will commit 28 days and then give them in 18 days. If I commit 12 days and give the same product in 18 days, they'll not be happy with the same experience. But if I'm being very transparent, committing 28 days and then get it to them in 18 days, they feel a certain sense of delight. So that is just a quick hack for everyone who's trying to build something, just under promise and over deliver.
Great advice. And Devansh, you mentioned the word burn. So, did you guys burn for some time also before?
Initial 4 months. Initial 4 months.
How
we were
long?
setting it up.
4 months.
4 months. And what was that amount?
Payroll. So it was mostly in building out the team.
Okay.
So as a marketplace, we have only 2 major costs.
Okay.
One is payroll, which
Yeah.
is salaries.
Yeah.
Second is marketing.
Yeah.
Third is probably store rents and stuff like that. So
What
these are
about tech? Tech में कोई cost नहीं आता?
so
So
that's
yeah, we're both engineers.
Yeah.
now.
हाँ.
So touchwood, because we're both engineers, the first version of the platform, we built it ourselves.
Yeah.
Then we got very talented interns from tier 2, tier 3 colleges.
Okay.
People who were like the top 1% there.
Yeah.
they were not helps.
Yeah.
Helps, man. Helps a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was a non-tech person looking to build Culture Circle as of today, that would easily cost me a crore.
We would have never started the Goa project if we were both not coders.
Yeah.
We would have never started the Goa project.
Yeah.
Even if you look at like the today's AI tools, you still can't build a marketplace.
Exactly.
You still can't, you can build a good
But
website.
you know what the problem is, and I'm glad we're doing this podcast for this, is that kids in their 16s, 17s, 18s right now might be watching this and they'll look at you guys and they'll be like, I want to be like them, cool, hype. They don't understand that you guys are also nerds. So they might stop studying and be like, I want to get into sneaker, apna side hustle ko main business bana lenge, not knowing that you also need that academic knowledge, that experience that comes with it.
100%.
You need one specialization.
Yeah.
Specialization is either one very strong area of passion or skill set.
Yeah.
You need that to make it into a career.
And you need to be willing to learn. For example, when we both started, we knew computer science, engineering, we knew programming.
Yeah.
But then I learned marketing completely by doing it. That's the only way.
And you're very good at it. Let me tell you. Because I'm into marketing and I can tell this guy knows marketing.
Yeah, so I learned marketing completely by doing it. He had no idea accounting, legal, finance, or ops for that matter. All are fields within themselves.
Yeah.
He took that up. I learned this. I didn't know about fundraising, how to pitch to investors. I learned it.
Yeah.
By doing more and more and more, how to make a pitch deck.
Fair?
For example, right? What is a good product? What is a good app? What are consumer metrics to track? So we were very open to always learn.
Okay.
Because you will never have the entire skill set. You need to be willing to suck at something at the start and then just keep on iterating on your knowledge.
But you guys sucked at it only for 4 months and that also was intentional.
All of the healthy,
sucked at it for a long time.
Okay.
all of the healthy company journey, look at it that way.
Fair.
We subbed at it for a long time. It's just not very visible to the public eye. But even after 4 months of the burn, it was not a very, rainbowish journey.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to get it a bit.
No journey.
And it still is. Yeah. I mean,
end of the day, we learned it. Not out of pressure. It was just fun. I loved working till 11:30 p.m. in the day, every day.
Yeah, it's 9 p.m. right now. We're shooting.
It is fun. Like,
Yeah.
as
was
long
just
as you
telling you
have-
yesterday, the meeting went on till 11:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even about the hours in office. I'm sure you're starting something, even when you're not recording a podcast, you're not working, you're still thinking about it.
Yeah.
So the first thought in my head when I wake up in the morning is about Culture Circle. The last thought when I sleep is about Culture Circle.
That's great. That's great.
So, it's never...
But let's come back to the theme of the segment, which is Finance 101. I want to understand, let's talk to you in terms of balance sheet. What does your balance sheet say? How much, let's say, gross profit are you guys making? How much net profit are you being able to save? What's your biggest cost center? Explain the balance sheet to me.
So again, our biggest cost center right now is our salaries.
Okay.
So we have hired a good team.
Yeah.
And
How many
first
people?
up, we have just touched 60,
60,
Okay.
65.
which is a mix of tech, marketing, content.
So our payroll
Customer
alone
service.
is over 40-45 lakhs as of this
Okay.
moment per
Okay.
month. So everything would have been per month.
Okay.
So payroll alone is 40-45 lakhs a month.
That's crazy.
Exactly 1 year before this, we were 5 people. Today we were 60.
That's crazy.
That is our biggest cost head.
Okay.
And then it would be those minor things, office expenses.
No, marketing also the big cost.
Office, marketing, all of these things add up
Yeah.
to make it bigger cost heads. But like our gross profit would be, our gross margins would be at roughly 8-9%.
Okay.
Our margins are super low. We're trying to be very competitive.
Okay.
But this works for us in hindsight because we have the best prices. We don't have the need to market us a lot. We will have a lot of word of mouth. Hence, we're able to build a lot of gross revenue.
And we're able to, so strategically what you've done is, we realized we will introduce technology-led efficiency to every part of the process. So what happens is now, as a result of that, we have the largest number of sellers, right? Compared to any other player. Now, once you have the largest number of sellers, automatically you'll have the largest collection in terms of SKUs, right? As I said, 1,000 versus 1 lakh.
Yeah.
So we have largest collection of SKUs and we have lower pricing than all of our competitors by at least 15 to 20%. So like any product that you're Googling, you will have two scenarios. Either Culture Circle is the only result to get it in India, which is for 90% of our products. For 10% that are available in other places, our prices are 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, 8,000 lower.
तो ये तो monopoly हो
All
गई
of
ना
our
एक तरीके से.
competitors.
Look at the smirk on their faces.
Yes, I mean, as Peter Thiel said in 0 to 1, you should build a monopoly. That's the idea.
Okay. And net profit, you were telling me?
Yeah, so I'll tell you. So, for example, last month, right, our overall sales were in the 8 to 10 CR ballpark
Okay.
per month.
Okay.
Our blended take rate, as you said, closer to 10%.
Okay.
Right, then you have the two cost heads, payroll and marketing.
Yeah.
After that, all costs removed, we
2 to 3%.
Yeah, 2% is what we make in terms of EBITDA. But the beauty of this model is even if I'm, let's say, doing 200 crores of revenue a month,
Yeah.
my payroll pretty much will stay the same,
yeah.
after this point. Like a bit
That's
out
a
that.
fixed cost.
That's the Zomato model. Right?
Correct.
That's what that is.
My payroll will stay the same. My marketing will more or less stay the same because
Yeah.
we don't do a lot of sales-driven marketing.
Yeah.
We do a lot of brand building,
Yeah.
like the event we did, etc. Right? So that's why we invest heavily. But
Okay.
that's about it.
Okay.
And most of our customers, so 80% of our customers, don't really see an ad for Culture Circle and download the app. They've heard about it from their friends.
Okay.
So if you're wearing a cool sneaker, you're wearing a cool t-shirt, you're wearing a cool watch, or if you
It's
you have
organic.
exclusive perfume,
Yeah.
of course I would ask, where you get it. And earlier the answer used to be, oh, my
Mere
friend came from Dubai or Europe and got this.
Yeah.
Now the answer is
Culture
Culture Circle. Check out the app.
Yeah.
So that's a bigger source of traffic. It's just people telling their friends about it because it's a cool tool.
Yeah. Let's come to funding also. What was your first funding amount?
It was yeah. So I'll tell you, we initially got a grant
Okay.
from Ahmedabad Ventures. That was 7 lakhs.
Okay.
This is when we just started.
Very
So
nascent.
September 2023.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So that's the first seed.
This was for culture or the health?
Culture.
Culture
Okay.
Circle.
So back when we mentioned, right, we built the platform out.
The
in
Goa hackathon.
Yeah,
After
yeah,
the
yeah.
Goa
not
hackathon.
monetize it yet.
Yeah.
When we realized there were like 70K organic users on a website, and like bang, we have identified a good problem.
This can be a business.
Let's monetize it. Then we got a grant because Devansh was in Ahmedabad.
Okay.
He opted out of placements to sit for the Mavericks.
So so they give you money if you don't sit for placements in Ahmedabad.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you want to do your own startup, they're like, okay, we'll give you some seed grant to support. So 7 lakhs we got from that
Okay.
initially. Then after that, by January 2024, that was the first month of proper launch. In our first month of launch,
Yeah.
we did over 40 to 50 lakhs in a monthly revenue. And in month one. So I mean, we were like, okay, this is something crazy. We've never seen.
Itna fast growth.
Even we were surprised. Like we had never
very
seen.
surprised, yeah. Matlab, we've never seen these.
We had never seen like itna jaldi 40 50 lakhs a month.
That was merchandise value. Or
Yeah. That was
That
sales.
was GMV.
GMV.
Ab us 40 lakh made. Being blunt, probably we started with 6%, 5%.
4%.
4% ले लो.
So on that 50 lakh, our take would only be like 2 lakhs.
Okay.
We started with 4%. So yeah, so that's where it started. At that point, we raised about 1 crore
Okay.
from IMA Ventures. This was just like, for the next 6 months, we'll go to a certain scale.
Okay.
And then we had honestly planned that after this 1 crore, we'll not raise funding because we can get to profitability comfortably within that range. And we did.
Okay.
However, what happened was after my convocation, which was in April last year, what happened was in the audience, there was InfoEdge and their team.
Okay.
And I was just like doing like a pitch prep, as in I was prepping our juniors on how to pitch because I had done it for 3-4 years with a healthy company. So I was just teaching them at IIM Ahmedabad's incubator as to how you can really pitch, etc.
Yeah.
And I was doing that and I was just pitching Culture Circle. The InfoEdge team really loved the pitch. They were like, we want to fund you. And at that point, we told them very honestly, we're not looking for funds. They said, okay, do a thing. Your office is 5 minutes away from our office. And if you're back in Gurgaon, just come meet us. Like, fair. We went to meet them with the perspective, we'll get a feedback. We'll get good feedback.
We'll get to meet Sanjeev Bichchandani.
Yeah. That was the point
I
that
want to get his autograph.
childhood hero like Sanjeev Bichchandani, we'll get to meet him. That in itself would be a thing.
Wow.
So we just went there, ki yaar milne ko milega. And that was the idea. And even when we went there, we had no pitch deck. Okay, so again, another sort of nuanced tactical advice. We've been on both sides of the table wherein we have gone out asking investors for funds versus when investors have come to us
And you
asking
have
to
said
fund us. Yes. And you really want to be on the second side.
100%.
So just do everything in your power to bootstrap it,
Yeah.
reach a certain scale where you have certain traction, you have certain revenue,
Yeah.
and then let the investors come to you.
Okay.
Makes a big difference.
Okay.
So in Culture Circle, that was the scenario. Always, we've never gone out, we've never pitched. We don't still have a pitch deck.
Okay.
When you go out fundraising, the first tip you get from everyone is make a pitch deck.
How
Make a
much have you
PPT.
guys raised till now?
So we raised once year, cumulatively once year from Ahmedabad Ventures. We raised about 16.2 CR from InfoEdge.
16.2 CR.
Roughly 2 mil.
2 million yeah.
Wow.
From them, and then on Shark Tank.
How much did that go through? Sometimes
Yes, with
it doesn't-
Ritesh. Yeah, with Ritesh, it's gone through. Deal is complete.
Okay.
With Kunal, there's
And
still
how much
the-
equity is remaining with you guys now?
With the two of us cumulatively,
Yeah.
it'd be about 77.
77, yeah.
Okay, and that's split equally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing, guys. So much to learn from 27-year-olds. And hats off to you guys.
काम की बातें भी करते हैं. He's genuinely surprised.
I thought DKL would just be fun.
I knew you guys are smart because as an entrepreneur myself, I realize how much goes behind building something that you guys are building. Something like that is crazy. And hats off to you guys again and again, because at this age, at this young age, you guys are doing so well. I am so proud of you guys. Not that I am someone who should be, but I just feel, good that someone from, our generation is doing so well at an early age. So thank you for sharing all that you did. That was the Finance 101 segment. So informative again. But now my favorite segment is coming up, which is the Curiosity Gap, where I'm going to pick their brains with the topics that I have in mind, and I'm going to generate some curiosity in your minds, in their minds. Let's see how it goes. Stay tuned, guys. We'll catch you in the next segment now. Welcome back. We're now in my favorite segment, which is the Curiosity Gap, where I'm going to pick these hype men's brains a little, and let's understand how deep they can get into the industry or the stuff that they're doing. So my first topic for you guys is understanding the psychology behind hype, the psychology behind trends, and how it has picked up in India over the last 4 or 5 years itself. What is your opinion on this fact that, as far as I understand hype, I used to think it's the most luxurious brands, the LVs, the Chanels, all of these. And now it's come down to, let's say, even Blue Orange, right? We have our own Indian Hypewear brand with us. What's changed in India in the last 4 years, 5 years that it's picked up so much here?
I think since COVID,
Okay.
last 5 years. So India was primarily hyped in watches, handbags, and liquor, right? But what changed during COVID was Gen Zs entered the market.
Yeah.
So sneakers were very prevalent in hype in the West.
Okay.
So US prevalent hype since the 1990s or 2000s. In India, it finally took off in 2020s or 2019s.
Yeah.
Right? And after that, that's when a game changer, because hype essentially works as a status signaling platform.
Do you think FOMO has something to do with this?
So I do.
Yeah.
And FOMO it's the crucial part of hype.
100%.
If everybody in the world had a Ferrari would not be as valuable.
Yeah.
Right? If everybody was able to access this pair at retail, it would not be as valuable. But people are now ready to pay a 20,000 price for this.
Yeah.
So that changed because Gen Zs were finally able to get a chance to, show that they were capable of getting something via sneakers.
Okay.
And because this happened, other categories also expanded.
Yeah.
It became to sneakers, then apparel, for example, essentials, Kenzo, then collectibles like these. These were things which younger audience like us finally had access to in India, and finally they could have availability also. They could purchase and flaunt. If you go out to Boca tonight, right, or Summerhouse night, it's Thursday night, there's a ladies' night.
Okay.
I'm assuming we go. Right?
Why did you know that?
He took me there. He took me there.
Okay.
But everywhere you go, even Blue Orange, right? Blue Orange started with COVID masks.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they started with COVID masks in COVID.
Okay.
And then they realized that attaching a brand name and actually a cool product, people are very excited for that.
Yeah.
Then they transitioned to t-shirts.
Yeah.
Then they launched their GK stores. We know this from Siddhant, right?
Yeah.
They doubled their prices overnight after a customer walked in and be like, I'm not going to purchase a 1,500. Show me something more expensive.
Oh.
They doubled a 1,500 t-shirt to probably a 2,700, 3,000 t-shirt.
How does that work? There's a major psychology behind pricing also. And as a marketing person, Devansh, you would know. What do you think about this? Is it that if it isn't priced as high, it wouldn't sell?
Correct.
Or if, you know what I'm trying to say, right? So, us baare mein thoda, if you can explain how does pricing play a role in this?
So I'll tell you, when it comes to hype, right, the number one rule we always remember is scarcity.
Yeah.
Right? Supply is always lesser than demand.
Do you think what's limited has replaced what's good?
100%.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
100%. See, there's a lot of good shoes. There's a lot of good t-shirts in the world. But they're not as limited. right? And that's why they're not as cool, because if everyone can get it, I don't want it. That's the human emotion that's backing this.
Yeah.
Because if everyone is wearing the same thing, then
Yeah.
how am I different?
Yeah.
Like the entire instinct is I want what I'm wearing, what I'm carrying to speak for myself.
Identity.
That's branding 101.
Yeah.
Branding is identity.
Yeah.
The brand I'm wearing, what does that speak about me?
Yeah.
Look at cars, because they do it beautifully.
Yeah.
Merc, it sit in the back seat, luxury,
Yeah.
right? Someone else is driving for me, chauffeur driven, etc. BMW is, again, I have money, but I also enjoy
Driving. Yeah.
right? I'm going to sit on the front seat.
Yeah.
So those two brands speak to two very different audiences. And
Well
someone
said.
sitting in a BM versus a Mercedes trying to tell the world something different about them,
100%.
right? With high brands, it's again the same. What happens is if you look at traditionally microeconomics, right? 101, it's supply and demand curve,
Yeah.
correct? And typically, if you increase the price, the demand is going to drop.
Yeah.
That's the
Typical
typical
thing.
pricing.
Yeah.
Right? When we talk about hype, the very interesting trend is it's actually reversed.
Inversed. Yeah.
Yeah. So if a product is priced higher,
Yeah.
it's somehow more valuable,
Yeah.
because that many lesser people can now access that product.
But the supply curve needs to stay the same. It needs to be the fact that the lesser the supply, the higher the price.
So the price is exactly the
Yeah.
price is a function of supply. So let's say I keep my supply constant. Only 1,000 Labubus will ever be made in the world.
Yeah.
Now, if I've capped the Labubu supply to 1,000
Yeah.
and the demand is higher, the price will keep on going higher. And
100%.
the higher the price goes,
Yeah.
the higher the demand goes as a result of that price going higher. Because now more and more people know that less and less people will ever be able to get a Labubu.
Exactly like how a Bitcoin works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Limited
supply of
Bitcoin. Yeah.
Gold, for that matter.
Anything with that.
You
matter.
don't mind
Yeah.
gold out thin air, right?
Fair.
Price increases.
Fair.
If there's a cap to supply, and more people, first of all, think it's valuable. Like I want that to have that Labubu, and more people want to buy that. Prices keep increasing, and a typical supply
There
and
was
demand economics.
unlimited, if there was unlimited supply of gold in the world, what would be the value of gold? Zero.
And understanding the market a little better from you guys, how do you guys deal with fakes? Because they will flood the market with the same product, maybe similar quality, and then that's like so much demand and so much supply, So how do you deal with that in this market?
Yeah, I mean, see, it's fairly straightforward. So the answer is simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So the answer is simple. What we do is we have a multi-layer check.
Yeah.
What we're doing is, of course, we're doing the checks on the seller, their backgrounds, etc. In the case that if you even try to ship ever a fake to
Yeah.
us, we're gonna know who you are. And
I'm sorry, I'll have to cut you here because I feel like you're taking it in the direction I'm not wanting to take it. I'm wanting to take it in the direction of the sense that fakes are going to be there. Okay, for any hypewear product, fake
there's
is
gonna be replicas.
If
there
it's
are going to be
hype- if
replicas,
it's hype,
right?
Then that means fakes are
And
amazing.
I am 1,000% sure Culture Circle will only give you authentic products. Customers are also sure of that, but the fact still remains that anyone can get a replica, okay, from anywhere, and there'll be everyone having the same thing. How does that play into your market and industry? How is there a way you can prevent that from happening? Because once a market is flooded with replicas, the hype is gone. I feel like it moves to another trend, right? So how do you guys, or what do you guys think about that? This is where I want to pick your brain on.
So I'll tell you, see, one thing very instinctively I'll tell you is the people who really like buying originals and authentic, they know.
Yeah, they know.
Okay, so let's try and reverse the question. Why is someone buying a fake in the first place?
Because they want to be a part of the hype.
Correct. And they want to be a part of the in-group.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why someone would buy a replica. Right?
Yeah.
Let's just take a replica Jordan.
Yeah.
That matters.
Yeah.
It's a valid discussion.
Yeah.
By still buying a replica Jordan, they want to feel like they're still the cool kids, but they don't have the money to spend 10. This is okay, they bought it. Now, someone who's been buying Jordans, who's in the scene, will instantly look at the Jordan. A lot of them will be able to instantly tell. Sometimes you can't tell. Therein, what happens is you really need to look at why someone who's paying full prices buying a Jordan is you carry a certain confidence with it, right? Because ultimately, why you're buying XYZ brand is what does that brand speak about you? So if I'm wearing an original piece, right? Even if nobody in the world knows whether it's an original or replica, I will know. Even nobody else will know, I will know.
Good answer.
And the way that I carry it, the confidence that I carry it, I will never have that if I'm carrying a fake, for example, right? So not only will others be able to tell, the way you will carry yourself will be fundamentally different.
Fair. I think that somewhat answers the question and leaves some space for curiosity as well. So we'll leave it at that. That's the whole concept of this segment, which we just talk about it a little and leave the audience a little curious to maybe research on it more and think about it more. Moving to the next topic, which is, like I mentioned, Blue Orange. Okay, it's our hypewear brand, I feel like, coming out of India. But a lot of trends and a lot of hypewear products that we wear and use are derived and come from the Western culture. And we maybe do some mixed masala in India and make it ours, but it's coming from the Western culture, right? Even China for that matter. But I feel like there's a major lack of Indian grown brands that are coming into the hypewear, streetwear, these spaces. And we're somewhere or the other just copying the Western culture, also not giving the full Indian touch to it. Why do you think that is the case, and how do you think we can change that?
That used to be the case,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
Because everything is copied from the Western culture at some point. For example, our entertainment industry, our music, our films, when they started off, a lot of it was influenced by the West until it took off. And we had some great artists from the music industry, from the entertainment industry. Exactly, take off.
That just reminded me of that Preetham example.
In our podcast?
Yeah.
What is the name of that artist who called Preetham?
Jenny.
But like the core of it is that yes, we are influenced by the West in a lot of aspects. Unless Indian artists take off in the industry. So when this trend started, right? Yes, we were influenced by the West, and a lot of the people on culture also. The trend is they try to get more of Essentials and a Kenzo, all of these hyper brands. But as of last year, as of 2024, I actually see a lot of great brands coming up. Because finally people first who would buy us first have started getting into a trend of let's be the sellers. Let's bring something new. So Blue Orange is a great brand. Almost Got is a great brand.
But then honestly, 2025 more. Which are under the radar, which are going to blow up to even higher.
If you'd like to name a few.
I'll tell you, Cause and Effect.
Very
nice fashion brand.
It
was on the Paris Fashion Week. I'm from India.
And it's Indian brand.
It's an Indian brand. The Sant is the founder from, it's based out of Kolkata. Great brand.
Alpha Omega wasn't also
Alpha Omega is
doing a pop-up in Paris right now.
Farak
is a great brand. Hypemen, Toffel. You can get all of these brands on Culture Circle, by the way. But
Gaila is doing pretty great for itself.
Great sneaker brand. So, and see, I'll tell you where I'm at with this, right? I've been a little contrarian here. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong
in
terms of even loving Western brands. Right? So, because I'll tell you why. See, what defines culture? On a big level, what is culture? Culture is the conversation that is happening currently, right? What defines that conversation that's happening? A lot of times now, it's the content that you're consuming. Now, if 80% of, say, the Indians who are potentially our customers, right? Like the socioeconomic strata that we roam around in, let's say, 99% of them are consuming Netflix. Primarily. What does Netflix have? Primarily Western content. What are the shows we often talk about? Western shows. Right? So if you're talking about Western shows, consuming Western content, it is a very natural, logical extension that we will associate with Western brands.
100%.
We have those Western values that are a part of the Western culture. Right?
100%.
We're probably more Westernized than Indianized in terms of our general day-to-day. So there is nothing wrong in us relating to brands from the West, like relating to brands regardless of wherever they're from. What is a brand ultimately? A brand speaks to a particular kind of a customer.
Their identity.
Exactly. Now, if a lot of Indian brands speak to my identity and as a customer, I will relate to those brands. That's what Blue Orange did very well. If you look at Blue Orange, they never market themselves as we're an Indian streetwear brand. No, they're like, we're a cool streetwear brand that's from India. And that I love that positioning. I don't see the point in trying to necessarily market yourselves or be like, oh, I'm from India. This and you can be, I'm a great brand within myself. That's also from India, right? So that's a big distinction.
For conversation purposes, I would like to counter your point and say that culture is a global connector, right?
Correct.
Anyone from any country is cultured. We will connect with them on some level or the other. I have a problem with the fact that if I go to the US, I will connect to the Western culture like this, okay? And I will understand it because I follow it and that's what's prevalent globally. But if you call an American, for example, to India, they can't connect to our culture like this. It takes them time to understand and they will get confused themselves. They're like, ये तो same ही चीज कर रहे हैं जो हम वहाँ कर रहे हैं, right? And they're just copycats. That's where I have the problem because I want an Indian brand to stand out in the culture scene and make that so popular and prevalent globally that even Americans, Europeans, they are following it and they are able to connect with us. That's why I brought this point.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what happens, right? Because we have grown up watching How I Met Your Mother, Friends, Suits, and the stuff. So it's easy for us if we land in the States to connect to that culture.
Yeah.
Those guys have not necessarily grown up watching, I don't know, Shaktiman, Sonpuri, whatever. Like other things, Kadona. These, they haven't grown up watching that.
Fair.
So it's difficult for them to really even connect.
Fair.
Because we do have great Indian brands, forget Streetwear, yaar, but Sabyasachi, Manish Malhotra, Tarun Tailani, like why are these not, these are great Indian ethnic brands.
Yeah.
But it's difficult for someone around the West to connect because they've not grown up seeing that.
I think it's about what you have been exposed to, right? When you were growing up, you've been exposed to the Western culture more.
Yeah.
Probably European culture more. We are very early in the stage where our content, our in entertainment industry and our fashion has gone abroad. Hence, it's very new for them also to start associating with it. It's not that it's not happening. It's been happening. But for a person like our age to associate with our brands, they have to be very young.
True.
To have that mental block, okay, I like Indian culture.
See, that's why I love Hanuman kind. You know what he did? Like grew up in Texas, came in, started rapping in English in the DHS scene, which was new within itself. He had a very peculiar accent. And now even when he's going out across the world, he's blown up across the world. And his thing is very clear. I am not an Indian rapper. I'm not a Desi hip-hop rapper. I'm a rapper who's also from India. I'm a hip-hop artist from India.
That's all I'm asking for.
That is cultural connection.
Look at Diljit Dosanjh. Hats off to that guy. He's put us on the map.
Correct.
Yes.
Coachella, Jimmy Fallon, like
People now know what India is. India is also cultured.
correct.
Yeah. Great. Stay curious now, guys. थोड़ा और सोचो इस बारे में. We'll move to the next topic now, which is I always ask guests that I really look up to, and I look up to you guys. You guys are doing really well for yourself. But if you were to go back in time and change one thing before you started Culture Circle, what would that be?
I would change my co-founder. How do I change that?
Yeah, not meet him.
No, if I had to change something about Culture Circle.
No, change in the sense that change something about your life before Culture Circle started.
About my life? Okay.
Yeah. Something you feel like you could have done better, something you feel like you should have done different.
I'm kidding.
Fair.
How did that affect you?
That's
right
also
now?
fair. No, relationships have a huge impact on
It's personality development.
100%. Yeah.
So that is your official answer.
No.
You would like to change your answer.
Yeah, I'll think of something.
Because I'm trying to understand for let's say a 17-year-old, 18-year-old who's watching this, who is looking up to you guys and wanting maybe to follow a similar path, not necessarily coming into the sneaker or the hypewear market, but another market in a similar manner, starting a business of their own, then finding investors, then getting popular and building on it, growing on it, becoming a good, solid company and a brand. For them, I need to go back for you guys and understand and explain to them that kahan mistakes hui thi, kahan pe, where they can learn from it, right? So that's what I'm trying to pick out of you.
I mean, to be very honest, I would not change a lot of things.
Because you are so successful.
No, man, but I think if one thing I had to probably modify a bit, I would tell my younger self that take bigger and bolder bets. Because at 27, I've realized, which I tell people also,
Give that courage to them because it requires guts.
you need to take bigger and bolder bets. Because, like, again, at 27, I've realized that everyone has a risk appetite.
100%.
And what this means is once you're 29, 31, 35, your risk appetite, the ability to take risks and bigger, bolder bets goes down dramatically.
It's evident, no, he's getting married soon.
So, yeah, I mean, if I were to, I'll tell you, on the contrary, right?
Yeah.
If I was married,
Yeah.
right, 1 year down the line,
Yeah.
2 years down the line,
Yeah.
I would not, there would be very little chances of me of starting a new thing.
First marriage or
Fair.
second?
The one and only marriage.
Good answer.
Yeah,
Good answer.
yeah.
The one and only
Yeah.
The one
good
and only
answer.
marriage I have. It will be taking bigger, bolder bets
Yeah.
because you don't realize it yet. You have a very, very time-based risk appetite.
Yeah.
You can't take the same risks at 9-21, which you can, or 9-21,
Yeah.
you can't at 30, 31,
Yeah.
35.
Exactly. Yeah.
Take risks, fail.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens.
Fair.
Like at what we're doing right now, if we were doing this 2 years, 3 years back, right now it'd already be an IPO company.
Yeah.
$1 billion outcome.
You guys are looking for IPO also? Thinking
So-
of it?
I wanted to say something, but I will not because a PR article. I said something, PR article went viral, which said that we're doing an IPO right away.
But yeah, like sooner than later.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Okay, well, that'll
but
be
yeah, to
really
answer,
cool.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
answer your question.
Yeah.
I really like this line I read somewhere which said, I'm Peter Thiel itself, it said, courage is in far shorter supply than genius. And
That's a great line.
yeah, and I've been around. I generally feel like I've been around the smartest people of our country, like whether at IIM, etc. Akshay also,
Yeah.
and
That's the first time he's been sweet to you on this podcast, by the way.
see what I've realized is I don't necessarily think I've been the smartest in most rooms that I'm in, right? There's been smarter
And you
people.
shouldn't be.
Exactly.
You
You're in the wrong
shouldn't
room
be.
then.
Yeah.
So there's been smarter people where I think I really worked out. It really worked out for me. Was I was more courageous,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I've seen people who are way smarter than me, but are doing something where I feel they could be doing so much more with their lives.
How do you differentiate between being courageous and being overconfident?
I feel like even if you're overconfident, I would rather be overconfident than underconfident.
That's my line, by the way. So quoted with my name.
Oh,
next time.
nice.
That's what I tell my mom every single day.
I read this somewhere also. It said Adhiraj Sethi, but I would rather be overconfident than underconfident.
100%.
It's better to be that.
100%.
Especially as he said, when you're young, like
Yeah.
right now. And see, again, I want to take this moment to really realize, see, all of us also need to realize you come from privilege, right? It's not that if we fail at what we're doing, we will not have a roof over our head.
100%.
We'll not have food to eat the next day.
100%.
And that is the reality for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right. So again, if someone's circumstances are that, I completely understand if you're not taking bolder bets. If you have a responsibility towards your parents when you're 19, where you have to make some money and send it home, etc. Right? There's all kind of life circumstances. And for that sort of segment of people, be very careful about the decisions you're taking. It makes sense. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But for people who can afford to do that, I feel a lot of people who are in the position to sort of do that, a lot of people born with a silver spoon, they are also not taking bigger, bolder bets, as he said, right?
Yeah.
Not being courageous.
Yeah.
Like, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Your worst case scenario is better than the best case scenario for so many people. Right?
You were literally saying my lines
And
word to word.
so, yeah. So, I mean, I feel like initially I was really scared, like even during the first venture, even before that.
Yeah.
And that is why even the kind of ambition
Yeah.
we had was smaller. I would have wanted to reach for the stars even earlier in life. And this is something we decided that's why with our vision for Culture Circle, right, we're not afraid to say that we want to be a large global conglomerate. We want to be India's first global consumer success story
Yeah.
from India. There's no one.
If you can't think it, you can't do it.
Correct. Like when I say that, by the end of this year we will be live in 18 countries. The reason we want to be so aggressive is we probably realize, it's one of the last times in life that we can afford to be so aggressive.
Yeah.
And that is what I want to give to everyone who's young. You have age on your side. It's the biggest advantage. You can take everything of Culture Circle away from me, but give me this knowledge when I was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Very fundamental.
Different story altogether.
Yeah. Different ballpark. But
You
the
mentioned
mindset.
privilege, and that really triggers me every time because that's a conversation that can have a whole podcast of its own. But quickly talking about privilege, being in the culture, being in the hypewear industry, you guys also have to look cool, feel cool, make people feel cool, and that involves parties, that involves doing cool things. But there must be so much negativity that comes from that as well, where people would be saying that, look at them, they're just spending investors' money, or they're just spending their father's money. How do you deal with all of that?
Just as a disclaimer, all of our investment money is still locked in an FD in the past 1 year because I handle the finances. And I'm a baniya.
Fair.
Abhi tak sara money we've had, it's locked in an FD and we're getting good interest.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, that's the best privilege.
No,
to
but you're right. So, I mean, again, see, what the world perceives, you have to be kind of insulated to that. Because I'll tell you what, no matter what, you can be a Mother Teresa today.
Yeah.
And someone will find 20 faults and why are you so great?
Yeah.
Why are you so nice? There must be something wrong with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So, you have to isolate yourself from what people are saying, doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's a part of our work.
You have to be some way in public perception, right? So that's why.
happens, like we have to go out to events, right?
Yeah.
And it might be some events we're either hosting
Yeah.
or some we're invited to. Some will be networking or some
And to
we're
be very
going-
honest, we enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
we're not here trying to pretend, oh shit, we have a shitty lives, we get to go to these cool events or go to these cool events. No, we love it.
Yeah.
That's why we chose this industry.
Yeah.
We were very conscious.
It's
like,
basically own it then.
being very real.
Yeah.
We wanted to do something cool with our lives. That's why we chose this industry. We could have done something else too.
Yeah.
But in the hindsight, when we're also working 20 hours a day, we also enjoy that. You know, we have fun. This is again something cool we're building. I don't mind one bit if I'm working till 11:30 p.m. and waking up at 6 a.m.
So just for context, like one of the events, you were also there,
Yeah.
that event, 1,300 people from Delhi sort of showed up.
1,300?
1,300, yeah. We
What?
were blown away, yeah. 1,300 people.
And by the way, it was invite only. Like,
and it was invite only exclusive.
guest listed.
There was 1,300.
1,300 people showed up.
The churn rate must be amazing.
Yeah.
That whole place couldn't hold.
That
It
could
was
be
insane. By the end, it was just...
jam-packed.
Yeah.
So 30
the
people
boiler
showed up.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
But what, and everyone's like, oh shit, guys, what did you pull off this, that?
Yeah.
But what people not realize is a day prior, we were, there, the entire team was there till 7:30 a.m. making the event happen
Yeah.
in the first place. So nobody really sees the back end side of it, the grind side of it, which is why we're okay with people making those comments. It comes from that uninformed place and it's okay for people to make those comments because they don't know the 360.
True. Wow. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. And that's Devansh Jain and Ackshay Jain, founders of Culture Circle, the fastest growing hypewear platform where you can find everything related to hypewear. This is me, Adhiraj Sethi, signing out. Love and peace. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You guys know the drill. See you in the next one. Bye.
Yay.